Hello, welcome back. Today we're looking at computer studies for NECO, National Examination Council, and we're looking at the practicals for 2022. So here's the question. It's an answer to questions only. So in this very video, we are going to treat question number 1, A and B. Instruction says use computer system to answer all questions. No content of your work should be identical to any other candidate's work. You are required to print out hard copies of all your work. Alright, so 1A, they use Microsoft Word to perform the task in not more than one page. So everything you're going to do in this question, 1A, has to squeeze into one page. Write a letter to your cousin who stays abroad, intimating him or her of your chosen career path, reasons for your choice, and seeking his or her advice on how best to pursue it. So this is about a letter, okay, not a formal letter in this case, an informal letter. Right, so how are you going to do it? There's an application. Type your letter in not more than 3 paragraphs. Your address should be typed in slanting form and italicize it. Okay, so I'm quickly going to open up my Microsoft Word so that we can get started. Okay, so Microsoft Word is launched. So your address should be typed in slanting form. So let's type our address in the slanting form. Okay. So here we have the address. Now remember, we were told to make it in a slanting form. Okay. Now I usually like to keep my address this way, since they didn't actually ask us to put it in any number of line space. So I like to keep my address this way, but you don't have to do this. You can leave your address this way if you want, but mine looks a bit more tidy if I leave it this way. All right, so what we need to do now is to slanting it a bit. So how do we achieve that? You can use your space. Don't use your tab. The tab will give you too much space. So use your space bar. Move this a little bit, and then the next one like that a little bit, and then the next line in a little bit, and then the last line. So after shifting them this way, some persons like to keep their own address this way. Some like to keep it by the right hand side. I like to keep my address by the right hand side. Okay, so I am not your English teacher. Okay, so I need to move this, hitting my tab key. Select everything and hit your tab key until they are properly positioned the way you want it. Okay, I'll push it in one more time. All right, so I'll leave it this way. Good. So I press my enter, and I go back to the end by pressing the backspace. Now we need to put in our salutation. They say okay, we need to make this italics as well. Aha. So select this and make it italics. Now we were not told the font size to use, so you're free to use the font size that you want. So I will leave it at the default font size. So the next thing for us to do is to type the salutation and then a double strike through. So I will say, dear, let me use confidence, and then I need to do a double strike through. Select the text and do Ctrl D. Ctrl D will give you the font format window. So you click on double strike through. Okay, still here you can see things like single strike through, superscript, subscript if you want, caps and small caps and all of that. Okay. All right, so I'll click on OK. Once I click on OK, that is what we have there. Okay, so the next part, they say there's a use double line spacing for your first paragraph. So we need 3 paragraphs here. Okay, 3 paragraphs as instructed. Where is it again? Yeah, not more than 3 paragraphs. All right, so let's say I begin my letter and I type, dear confidence, I hope this letter. Okay, so I am not going to continue typing this. I will pause this video, finish the typing, and then I'll come back to it. Okay, I'm done with the letter. Okay, so this is the first paragraph, second, and the third, right? So they say use a double line spacing for your first paragraph. So this is the first paragraph. Select, and then I'll use a double line spacing. I will come here, click on that. You see two there? That's a double line spacing. Okay, two, double line spacing. Now, if you are not also sure, you can equally do this by clicking this very point, and then you will see line spacing. Okay, you can go for double. All right, once you click on it, that's what you have. So either ways, it still works. All right, so after that, what else do we do? Type the second paragraph using Tahoma font style with font size 14, and you make it bold. All right, so we need to select the second paragraph, and then they say Tahoma. Okay, so Tahoma, and then font 14, and we make it bold. All right, the next part says type your last paragraph using any font style other than Arial, Times New Roman, Calibri, or Tahoma, and you put it in italics. Italicize it. All right, so this one is any other font style other than those mentioned. So let me use Comic Sans and then make it italics. Okay. They didn't mention the size, the font size that we should use. Okay, so that means we can practically leave everything at 14 or just leave them the way they are. I think all they are testing is your ability to type, your ability to understand what line spacing is, to make bold and to change fonts and stuff like that. All right, so the next thing we need to do, they say use your registration number as a custom watermark diagonally on your letter. Okay, so we'll go to design, and then you see that there, watermark, you click on that. So here you have it, but go to custom watermark. Okay, so let's see, what did they ask us to use? But we need to click on text. Okay, so that we'll use text as our watermark. Following the question, they said we should use what? Our registration number. So you should know your reg number. You change this ASAP under text ASAP to your reg number. So whatever your reg number is. Okay, and then what else did they say we should do? It should be diagonal. Okay, diagonal, that's this one. If it is horizontal, you'll pick this one, and then you click OK. Once you do that, you see that thing there? Yeah, that's your reg number. Okay, next thing, they say type your name, registration number, school address in a text box after your last paragraph at the bottom left corner of your letter. Okay, and make it bold. Okay, so before I do that, let me end this letter. Let me take it away from italics. Let me end this letter by saying yours truly. Yours truly. Okay, or your brother, or anything that you want to use to end it. And then the last part says you type your name, registration number, and school address in a text box. So we need to put in a text box. How do we achieve that? By going to insert, you click on shapes, and then you see text box there, you pick that, and then you move here, somewhere around here. All right, so let's go back to the question. It says type your name, reg number, school address. So make sure you get this correctly, okay? No mistakes. Write your name in the order in which you were registered. Name, reg number, okay? Remember your reg number, very important. And then the school address, whatever address you want to use, okay? Make sure that it is the school's address. If you don't know it, ask your teachers to tell you the address of the school. All right, so let me adjust this a little bit so that all the text can appear. Change that. Okay, let me adjust this again. Okay, so with all the adjustments done, I think I can still adjust this. let me remove this, the line spacing between them. All right, I can adjust this a little bit. Good. Okay, so what else did they want us to do? So type your name, branch number, school address in the text box after your last name. Okay, we've done that. After the last paragraph at the bottom left corner, so it is rightly positioned of your letter, and make it bold. Okay, so we need to make it bold, then make it bold. So I think we're good here. Any other thing? So that's that. So I think we're done with this part 1a. Now let's look at the B part. The B part says states 2 precautions taken while performing this task. So I'm going to do this in the same document. Okay, I'm just going to hit my enter and go to a new page. So this one is the page for 1a. So let's move on. So here will be 1b. 1b, what do they want us to do? Let me change this font to Calibri and leave it at that. So there's a state 2 precautions taken while performing the task in 1a. So you get to write the precautions that you took. So any precautions that you took while you're preparing that document, you need to put it down. All right, so for me, I'll say 1, I made let me use bullet points. All right, so you can write as many as you want, but they say we should write 2, so you can just write only 2. All right, so second one, it says mention 4 document views in Microsoft Word. Okay, so let's go to Microsoft Word. How do we see the views? When you go to view, okay, so these ones are the views. So it's better to mention these ones: read mode view, print layout view, web layout view, outline view, draft view. So you are asked to mention how many of them? 4 of them. So you can pick. I don't know why this changed again, so let me go back and change this to Calibri. So you don't have to mention all of them, right? Okay. Next part, it says explain the following word processing terms: hyphenation, cross-reference. Okay. So I will say this is the third one, 3A. All right. So what we have here is an example of hyphenation. Okay, where you put a hyphen as a continuation of a word. Okay, it's the process of using a hyphen to divide a word at the end of a line. Okay, so I'm going to revert this to the way it was. Okay, so that is hyphenation. B says cross-reference. Just have to click on references and you will see it just there. So when we say cross-referencing is a feature that allows you to link specific parts or other contents, within the same document. So you could do a hyperlink here to help you reference, other parts, so that once you click on the hyperlink, it takes you to that part. So, but I'm not going to do that here. So this is just what it means. So you decide on what you want to reference here. Okay, so if you've done this successfully, that means you've gotten all the marks. There is here 30 marks are in the bag already. Okay. So you can go ahead to print your work and you're good to go. Remember to always save your work. Please don't be like me. Save your work from the get-go. Okay, look for a folder where you're going to drop it, and then you keep saving your work as you proceed. Keep saving your work as you proceed. Please do not wait until the end. Something might just go wrong. Please do well to like, share, subscribe so that the video gets to as many persons as possible. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now.